this is the overall healthy eating pattern, kind of reiterating what we were saying earlier in the earlier presentation, which was beautiful. This is just recommendations. Include, right? Many of you already know this who are in the confident level, and those of you who are confused, it's really simple. Include a lot of veggies. You can never go wrong with veggies. You can eat as many as you want. And the goal is, I'll show you with the Harvard plate that the other group had, is to eat half your plate veggies. And I know that sounds like a lot, but if you can kind of start inching your way up there or encourage your family to, you will be in every way reducing inflammation in your body, and that way increasing immunity and overall health. So increase veggies, increase fruits, and we're talking whole and season variety of fruits, and we're not talking fruit juice or dried fruit as much, though you can have a little bit of these things, but we're talking about fresh fruit. Whole grains, lean proteins such as fish or chicken are preferred, or plant-based, or of course, if you're vegetarian, any kind of legumes, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats. So the other group was talking about saturated fats aren't all bad, but the thing about fats that we'll get into just briefly is that nothing lives in a bubble. And so even if something we'll say is a good source of monounsaturated fat, it also will have some saturated fat. Even olive oil, you may know, is a really healthy fat. It's a good source of monounsaturated, but it will also have a little unsaturated, which is fine. So we say choose the healthier fats and eat less. Yeah, you guessed it. Eat less sugar. I know we crave it. Eat less sodium. I know we crave it. Restaurant food, just saying that most restaurant food will be very heavy in a lot of these things, and they're not looking out for our health. And refined grains, which means kind of the white flour. We were talking about the whole grain cereal before on the quiz, but suppose it's frosted, I don't know, what's a good Fruity Pebbles, or what's a cereal you eat that's like very sugary? Those are refined grains, or white bread, like Wonder Bread. And saturated and trans fats. Healthy eating plate, and this is what it looks like. This is from Harvard, and they made it a little nicer, I think. And so you can look at this on your own after, but it's basically saying the same thing, but a little more specific, right? So eat a variety. Nobody knows, there's no science. I mean, food studies are impossible. We can't take people, you'll know, those of you who have studied some science, these things are done with control studies and the gold standard, but it's really, really difficult with food, because all you can do is ask people, well, what do you basically eat, and watch them over long periods of time. But it's very rare that we can take people and like put them in a laboratory and just give them exactly what they eat for years and years and see, well, how do they do, and which ones get sick, and what diseases happen. And that's why we just have basics. We look over large populations and we say, well, these people, in the Mediterranean diet, that works really well. And there's some people in Okinawa in Japan, they seem to do really well. And these are sort of the basics that we know. A lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, the grains are whole grains, and the proteins we'll consider in that lean, and it won't be a lot of the bacon and red meat and cheese. And I know a lot of the things that a lot of people say, that's good stuff, but we say limit it. We don't say, that you have to avoid completely, but this is towards a life of being very, very healthy and having a strong immune system. The plate method, sorry for the distorted pictures, but you get the picture. It's kind of saying, if you can make half your plate vegetables, a quarter of it protein, and a quarter of it, what's the other one, whole grains, you'll be doing great. And they don't all have to look like this. So perfect.